And that's why those red light tickets that people get in the mail are not moving violations. They're parking tickets. They go to the owner of the vehicle regardless of whether or not it was the owner that was driving the vehicle, and they're treated like a parking ticket, just like they don't know who illegally parked. The owner of the vehicle is ultimately responsible. The same with these red light tickets.
By the way, with the whole search and seizure issue with the Fourth Amendment, are you seeing any instances where prosecutors are doing a subpoena and trying to get your cell phone records?
No. First of all, in New York City, we may talk about this a little bit later, traffic tickets are handled as an administrative proceeding. There's no prosecutor. The police get up, they tell their story, and a judge makes a decision. You tell your story. You have a right to cross-examine the police officer, but it's administrative. There's no prosecutor. There's no investigator. There's no mechanism to get search warrants.
Well, here's the thing. I've seen in court, when trying cases, to show that somebody's been on the, to possibly be on the phone when, let's say, my client has been injured, or unfortunately, my client has injured somebody else. I ask for cell phone records, and and the judge turns them over. I get the AT&T records, or I get the Verizon records. I mean, the attorneys fight it, but I get to take a look at them to see. All right, the accident happened at about 8:03 p.m. Guess what? You made a call at 7:50, and you were still on the phone at 8:04. So you got to think that prosecutors are going to want these records to help prove their case.
They may, but prosecutors, and again, there's no prosecutors in New York City. So what you're talking about is prosecutions for traffic violations outside of New York City. And these traffic prosecutors are very busy. They're generally not handled by the district attorney's office. They're handled by a local, a village prosecutor or a town prosecutor, and they handle a lot of tickets. And I have not seen subpoenas issued so far.
Now, from what I'm being told, we actually have a segment where we're going to go out to the street and take a look to see what different people felt about the no texting while driving law. So if we have that, can we run that segment? I'd like to see what the people have to say.
I think that when you're driving, your attention should be on the road, always.
I think it's gonna be very important and useful to our lives and our passengers' lives, because what I know is most of the times, most of the drivers get in an accident, through this texting and this phone calls on the, whilst driving, and this causes a lot of accidents. So this law, I think, is going to help reduce the rate of accident in our communities and on our roads too. So I think it's going to be useful and helpful.
I think it's good because it's very dangerous driving while you're texting. People do it a lot and they take their eyes off the road. It's even worse than talking while driving.
I think it's great, and the reason why is because texting while driving is more dangerous than talking on the phone while driving.
Well, I think the law would be somewhat, I think it's good because there has been a lot of accidents I know caused by texting. I did see a video online where a guy was texting while driving and he crashed right into the back of a car, so that could have been avoided, and I'm a driver, so I know how it is. It can be dangerous, so it could be good.
I think it's a good idea, keep kids from doing crazy things. I mean, you do inspire them when you don't reinforce the law on them. So it's a good thing, it's a positive thing for the community.
I really do not think that texting while driving is a good idea, because you're taking all of your attention that's supposed to be focused on the road and you're putting it towards your phone. For that one instant when you're looking down, somebody could be crossing and forget it. Somebody's life will be on your hands.
All right, well, obviously you can see there's a lot of different opinions there, but most people seem to suggest that texting while driving is not a good idea. Of course, a lot of those people probably are still texting while driving, like a lot of us, and it just happens. But that's the law, and you shouldn't be doing it, right?
Well, that's absolutely true. And look, you can't legislate people using common sense. The fact is that people should not be texting while driving. I don't know that this law is going to help that.
Okay, I want to go a little bit farther now, just to play devil's advocate one more time, okay? Because of course, I'm not wearing makeup, but many women are driving, and many women, as you say, put on makeup and do different things while they're driving. What is the current law, to the best of that you know, with respect to being distracted while driving?
I am not aware of any law. I haven't seen any violations issued for this, and we handle quite a few traffic violations. I have not seen any violations issued for distracted driving, and I'm not aware of any law in the books that prohibits it. Now, I've heard talk about it in New Jersey in particular. There was some discussion about distracted driving. Look, people are eating in the car, people are drinking in the car.
People smoking cigarettes.
People are smoking cigarettes in the car. A lot of things are going on in the car, and
kids in the back seat are screaming in the back seat. Somebody's smoking next to you. You got what about the radio? You got to be surfing the radio.
And it goes back to what I say, which is you can't legislate common sense. You need people to just use their head and try to drive carefully.
Okay, before we move on to another part of the show, final thoughts with respect to text messaging. Where are we going? What are we doing with this law? Give me a prediction. It's 2 years from now. Is this on the books still?
It's on the books still. My prediction is that they're going to make it subject to primary enforcement, which means that the police won't have to wait till you commit another violation. They're going to try to put some teeth in this law, but I just don't see it like
very slippery slope for them to be able to look into your car while you're driving and know that you were texting, by the way.
It's a very slippery slope, and the bottom line is it's one thing to stop someone for putting the phone by your ear. It's another thing to try to see what you're doing with your hands.
Fascinating topic. All right, when we return, we'll take a look at which traffic laws are the most violated by drivers here in New York City, and what are your legal rights when confronted with a violation. All this and more when we return.